Salutations, everyone. Well, I hope you're prepared for this one, because it's a doozy. Okay, I'll try not to make too many prepared jokes like that, but it's really hard to resist. As you saw, good old Illidan stayed behind on the seat of the Pantheon to watch over Sargeras, his long hunt finally complete. That was the last time we saw Illidan and the Pantheon. We still don't know what happened there or what's been happening there, but I'm going to chat about it regardless. Anyhow, Dragonflight is centered a lot on the Titans and their Titan Keepers and Titan creations and all that, as Titans had a huge hand in the evolution of dragons and shaping the rest of the world. It has us kind of questioning our allegiance to them, too, well, with what the Primalists have to say about them and such. This isn't to say that the Primalists and Incarnates are guiltless, or that the Dragonflights are all evil. It just means that we should certainly keep an eye on, or an ear out, for what they've been saying about the Titans, at least for later. As the Titans are all about order, it's why they're at odds with the very chaotic and consuming natures of the Burning Legion and the Old Gods, or the Void, rather. For the most part, we've been on the same terms with them, with the Titans, as we've been all about defending Azeroth from the forces that wish to control her. We've never really been on their bad side, despite us creating a lot of those conflicts atop the planet ourselves. What spurred a lot of my thoughts on the Titans specifically, the Pantheon rather, is when Alexstrasza reaches out to commune with them to hopefully regain their aspect powers to face off against the Incarnates and whatever they wrought. It's answered with nothing, and I don't exactly think that means that the Titans are dead, or are asleep, or are fully in stasis. I think something else is going on, as the light in the sky is still very much lit on the mainland, which, if you didn't know, that's the last flicker of the light we saw before the portal into Argus closed. It's where the seat of the Pantheon is supposedly located. Although I do think it is absent in Dragonflight's skies, which could ruin this whole theory, or it's just an oversight that they forgot to add. I think it's the latter, personally. Regardless, I do think that the Titans are going to make a return. However, I do not think it will be good. I talked about how, thus far, the Titans and us have for the most part been kinda chummy, but the Burning Legion has been dealt with, Death itself has been toppled over, and the Void is not doing so great either. So many of the enemies have been defeated, or at the very least driven off for the most part, at least for now. When you take a look at us, we're kind of a problem ourselves, as the many mortal races of Azeroth are either corrupted by the curse of flesh, or are aliens who've got their own associations with the other cosmic forces. It doesn't help with the fact that in many ways, the wars we've started have only made Azeroth far worse, and not really better. We're not evil, or a real problem, but if the Titans show up and we've cleared out the place, we're really the only loose end remaining, and we're not what I would call their ideal caretakers for their nascent Titan. There was the whole Algalon situation too, where he outright admitted to us that his entire function was wiping out the creations of the Titans when things have gotten out of hand, using the Halls of Origination. That's what was supposed to happen when Azeroth got too far gone. It was supposed to get a clean slate and us with it. You know, wiped out and such. Fortunately, Algalon saw reason and told us how to turn it off. But that's a fine example of what the Titans might try and do to us. Now, what would Illidan think of this? What would happen after a long conversation of the Titans talking with Sargeras go? Again, we're not really sure what's been going on or going down with them since Sargeras was jailed up, but I would love to talk about him as a later date, and what they could do next with our favorite former Lord of the Burning Legion. This mostly is on Illidan and the Titans themselves, excluding Sargeras. So, in whatever fashion, the Titan Pantheon collectively agree on returning to Azeroth and ensuring its growth is going well. They do not forget about us and intend to deal with us properly. I do not think that the Titans would realistically see getting rid of us or converting us as a bad thing. In fact, I would see them thinking it as a noble sacrifice, or the next step of our evolution as the quote-unquote true protectors of Azeroth. They'd probably see it as a gift, really. The Titans aren't exactly evil per se, but I think they misunderstand how the mortal mind works, and how much freedom is important to the future of the cosmos. And of course, Illidan, who's been stewing away on their throne, would be present for the whole thing, listening in on their plans and either telling them how wrong they are or keeping his mouth shut to be smart. I personally think that they would entirely ignore Illidan and not really see him as much of anything. They could try and convert him or something, or maybe pry him for information out of him, but I ultimately think they'd mostly just see him as a guest that they really didn't ask for. Now, they could leave their stasis, or they found the means to do this without leaving, and simply are sending some form of Titan ships over to Azeroth or something. I don't know. They're Titans, and I think their capabilities are sort of endless when you put them all together, really. So, Illidan, I would say, somehow escapes. Perhaps he uses the Sargeras keystone if it's still within his possession, and he travels back to Azeroth and warns us what the Titans intend to do with us to the entirety of Azeroth as well. Potentially even the cosmos, really. Allowing us to prepare for the fight of our lives against some of the strongest entities in existence. Illidan being our resident informant on just what these Titans are capable of, since he's been with them for a while, and it's kind of been in it to take out Sargeras anyway, so him becoming kind of like a Titan hunter or Titan slayer, I guess that's the next step for him when you think about it. Leaving an opportunity for Illidan to find out the fate of the Night Elves, Tyrande, and where his brother is exactly. Perfect for him to leave a very tired remark on how his brother had one job and isn't doing it. Maybe could even have Malfurion wake up around this time too, for a proper reunion for the three this time. We didn't really get that in Legion, and I'm still mad. Plus, you could have Illidan and his demon hunters reunite and convene their new goals on what exactly is going on. Again, next step for demon hunters is, I guess, Titan slaying, I guess. Now, I personally don't think the Titans would be a definite enemy, as in all of the Keepers, Titan creations, Dragonflights, and even all the Pantheon themselves, I don't think they'd be alright with this. Instead, I think this would be a grand opportunity to have some form of Pantheon war, where some of the Titans are for converting the cosmos, and some are really against it. I'd say we'd probably have Eonar and Agramar as our potential allies, considering their given nature. Plus, I mostly just want Agramar to interact with the orcs finally, as they were his accidental creations. I really like that. That'd be interesting for the orcs to kind of, deal with meeting with their creator. Well, Eonar seems to be the most gifted and connected to life, so I'd imagine she'd take issue with what Aman'Thul has planned, maybe. This way, it becomes more realistic on how and why we survive a full-on scale Titan war by having some of them back us up. Plus, maybe we'd finally have Azeroth wake up and have a Titan brawl with them too. I'd imagine this would probably take place in the far distant future, by the way. I know we're all a bit tired of the focus on cosmic stuff, but I also can't see it going away entirely too. Do I think they might address this or foreshadow this in Dragonflight? Probably. I think that in one way, you sort of have to have the Titans or Titan Keepers blessed aspects, and we could maybe get a snippet of what they've been up to, or what they're going to do with them. Maybe even get a cameo from Illidan there. Maybe. I do think this is a lot, and it will probably go very differently from what I'm imagining. But what do you all think about this? Do you think we'll have a war with the Titan Pantheon? Do you think Illidan is going to make a grand return? Or do you think they'll do something else entirely with the Titans, Sargeras, and Illidan up in their seats of the Pantheon? I'd very much like to hear your ideas and thoughts below. If you guys like these videos, feel free to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. You can also join us on this Discord where we talk about all sorts of stuff and things. You can also support me on my Patreon like these amazing folks here. But until next time, my friends,